2015 HOT6 GSL 시즌.
Welcome back to the GSL Code S, everybody. This is our third season, the last season of the year, and it is going to be a good one, no doubt. As you see, we are coming to you from sunny Hawaii, where Giri is going to interview these players. I'm Rotosis alongside Valdez. Tasis is on vacation. So here we go. We're going to meet these players from Group A. We have a quarterfinalist from last season, MyuNgSiK. Of course, he was seeded into Code S here this season.
개막전을 치르는 거는 상관이 없는데
how do you feel
제가 티어 1인데 티어 4 선수가 좀
day
걸려가지고 그거는 좀 상관이 많은 것 같아요.
네, 티어 4 선수가 너무 세다 말씀하셨는데
I was seen in the group and I was expecting lesser players in the group, but all these players are really strong, so that's kind of worrisome.
올해 그래도 마지막에는 올라오셨네요.
Now we're going to be talking to Zest. Finally made it to Code S. How do you feel? I thought to myself that I might not be able to make it into Code S for all of this year, but he's really happy to finally make it here in the last GSL Code S.
Yeah, it was a travesty to miss him.
Just like this makes sense.
시즌에도
Zest doesn't make it.
3라운드 때 좀 잘했었는데
And of course, time for here.
또 3라운드잖아요 이번 시즌. 또 정신 차려서 어떻게 올라온 것 같아요.
Last year I did well in the third GSL, and it's a third GSL this year. So I hope I do well like last year. Well, if you play well with the seasons here, I guess that could happen.
좀 다른 조들에 비해서 어려워 보여서 그래서 준비를 되게 많이 하고 왔고요.
Compared to other groups, I think my group is the hardest. So he prepared very hard for these matches, but he still thinks it's going to be a very difficult road today for him.
It is.
Yeah, I agree with you, Solar.
We were
Sorry.
literally just talking about Solar and how he's a definite today.
쉽지는 않을 것 같아요.
그 중에 누가 좀 많이 걸리세요?
Here also agrees that this is a strong group, and it's definitely not going to be easy tonight.
그러면 주성우
The
선수
scariest player, of
티어
course,
4
is
선수인데 왜 이렇게
Zest.
포스가 있을까요? 주성 선수가 보기에는 오늘 좀 어떤 것 같으세요?
Even though it's your first Code S, a lot of players are scared of you. Why do you think that is?
비슷하게 어려운 것 같아가지고.
I think that's because I'm doing well recently outside of GSL. And I've looked at other groups, and I feel like other groups are just as difficult as this one.
그렇군요. 자, 김명식 선수 지난 시즌 사고 치는 모습 아주 인상 깊었습니다.
Be very difficult once he advances to the round of 16.
설정하셨어요?
목표는
Especially because it's packed with great players here at
저는
this GSL.
32강은 좀 쉽게 갈 줄 알았는데 조금 변수가 생겨가지고
MyuNgSiK says obviously his goal is to become the champion.
네, 푸푸전이
He thought the round of 32 would be an easy win, but after looking at this group, it's going to be very difficult.
항상 자신 있는데 제가 꼭 상대분들이 엄살을 피우면 이거 위험할 때가 많더라고요. 그래가지고
I am always confident when I play in any matches, but
그런 생각
I tend to lose if my opponents are scared of me. So I'm not going to play overconfident tonight. I'm just going to be very focused and play every set
성욱이 형
and play
푸푸전
until
하는
the
거
end.
보면은
Do my best.
역시 푸푸전 원탑 기계 이런 느낌 들어서 이거 뭐
I think
엄살이
Zest
아니라
is the best
보험
player in the
따는
mirror
걸로
match of PvP right now.
보험이다. 자, 강민주 선수와
So I'm
김도욱
gonna have to play a very
선수는
secure
상대에 대해서
match.
어떻게 생각을 하고 있을지 궁금한데 김도욱
Somewhat
선수가
reasonable. He's definitely one of
생각하기에는
He's up
오늘의
there.
상대 어떠세요?
김수가
Kira, what do you think about Solar? Of course, Solar is his first match.
진짜 잘해요.
Solar is not doing well in Pro League. That's an
Not for
understatement.
quite some time.
네.
But he does pretty well in individual leagues.
개인 리그에서는 굉장히 사기가
But
되시죠.
so he
강민
prepared very well
선수가
for his
생각하기에
CBT today.
김도욱 선수 오늘 어떠세요?
전 개인적으로 1차전이 제일
What does Solar have to say about that?
지든 이기든
Well, I personally think my first match is going to be the most important, crucial match of tonight.
이기지 않을까 싶어요.
이기지 않을까?
I'm confident against pros
그렇군요.
players.
자, 오늘
So I really have to
개막전에
be
나서는
here.
선수분들 오랜만에 뵙는 만큼 마지막으로 이번 시즌 각오를 들어보도록 하겠습니다. 자, 강민수 선수가 먼저 해볼까요?
Now we'll see the final words from each player.
6시즌 연속 올라오게 됐는데 또 이게 군단의 심장으로
I'm in Code S for the 6th consecutive season.
최선을 다해보도록
It's going to be the last heart of the Swarm season.
자, 새 시즌 만에
So as a
나서는
Zerg, I'm going to do my
김도욱
best
선수 각오
to
들어볼게요.
represent the
이번
race.
시즌 3라운드 때 4강까지 갔는데 이번 시즌 3라운드에 4강 이상
Last year I went
올라갈
to the
수 있도록
semifinals in the third GSL of the year.
알겠습니다. 자, 주성 선수도
So I'm hoping I
남다른
can do
각오로
that
오셨을 것
well
같은데
again here
들어보겠습니다.
this season.
전 시즌 1이랑 2를 아예 참여도 못했기 때문에
I missed season 1 and season 2 of GSL this year. So this is going to be my only GSL this year.
자, 그리고
So
티어
I'm
1
going to do my best
김영식
to advance
선수
as far as I
들어보겠습니다.
possibly can.
시즌3가 마지막이기도 하고 이게 마지막인 걸 잘 알고 있기 때문에 오늘 집중해서 열심히 하도록
Since
하겠습니다.
this is the last GSL this year,
자,
I'm
이렇게
going to
오늘
concentrate tonight to
개막전
do my
A조에
best.
나서는 선수분들과 이야기를 나눠봤습니다. 저는 잠시 후에
All right.
첫 번째
Well,
진출자와 함께
they all want to do their
돌아오겠습니다.
best. They all think it's a pretty hard group and a tough season.
Yeah.
And Zest is really
They
good.
also want to thank their fans for coming out to support them
And
tonight.
try hard to show good games.
Yeah.
Anyways,
What else
guys,
is new, Dan?
this is the GSL Code S last season of the year. Let your friends know this is the opening night, and a fantastic opening night indeed. This season is unbelievably stacked, and I love the spread of the groups. I actually agreed with Zest when he said he thought all the other groups were kind of the same level of difficulty. I think that this is a really spread and balanced round of 32, which I think will give us our scariest round of 16 we've ever had. I think there's not going to be one jobber left. There's no one's getting through on luck. It's going to be like 16 absolute sick killers.
That's the goal, and even tonight, when I look at this group, like you said it before, every group is very strong. There should be like 2 or maybe 3 players that have a good chance. Maybe one guy, he got through Code A, but maybe he's not going to make it past the round of 32. Guys like that in my mind, you know, I think of someone like Yoda. I don't even know if he made it through this time around, but you know he's been to the round of 32 so many times and hasn't really made it through. But in this group, for me, it's like Zest, definite shoo-in. He gets through. MyuNgSiK and Cure are the 2 guys I think that are going to be combating for that second spot. So it's going to be very interesting.
I think you're probably right there. Like Zest is super good PvP right now. I think that Solar, he's going to have a hard time. Like he used to be such a badass. Like what was it, a year and a half ago? He was like a killer Zerg, really on the rise, so many wins all over the place. One of the best Protoss killers in the world for sure. And not even using, he wasn't a Swarm Host Zerg either. He was a Roach Hydra type of guy. So, like, you would think that this type of meta fits him. So maybe he can do something if he hits those Protosses. But Cure's TVZ is super on point.
Yeah, he actually said, you know, I'm very comfortable against Protoss. I can do whatever I want against Protoss, but when it comes to Terran, I'm not so sure. He said he practiced very hard for the ZVT matchup, and I think he should have, because Cure, I think he's just going to stomp him from the get-go. I'm going to be very honest here. Like, even though Cure himself hasn't been doing that well, I think he still holds the keys, whereas Solar, I think he kind of lost them somewhere along the way.
They're in the couch cushions somewhere, Valdez. I tell you, it's going to be a tough one for him.
Still hasn't come out yet, you know.
Could be. Look, even if he gets the Protosses, it's still a tough one, man. But let's take a look at the schedule, guys. As you see, Wednesdays and Fridays, you're here with me. And sometimes Valdez. Most of the time, it'll be Tasteless. He's on vacation right now, guys. I'm 99% sure he'll be back for Wednesday's cast. Yeah, he tried to minimize what he was going to miss for this little vacation, but we'll be happy to have him back. But happy to have Valdez here today with me.
I'm happy to be here. It's a good group to be here as well. We got 2 Protosses here at least.
Yeah. And as you see, it's a super balanced season, 11-12-9, a great spread, as you see right there.
Yeah.
There's very few names actually missing from this tournament. When you just kind of scan over, you're like, well, damn, that's all the Protosses, that's all the Zergs, and that's all the Terrans right there. There's like, Dream is missing.
Dream. I was going to say that, but that's it, pretty much.
Yeah, that's really the one where I'm like, we almost had like this amazing perfect season. I'm trying to think who else. I'm sure there must be like one other guy that like super should be here, but the fact that it's not popping in my head makes me think maybe not, man. Like, did we do it? Did we get like, do we have 31 of the best 32 players in the world?
I believe so. I was looking through the Zergs too. You got Dark, Light, Sue, Biol, even Curious.
Rogue, Biol. Yeah, no, I mean, it really is the best Zergs. And then like the Zergs, 2 Zergs that were amazing, Lucera and Solar. Lucera's doing pretty well still. Solar's kind of having a rough patch, but he's been very good at the pass. I guess we're missing Soulkey kind of. Like Soulkey's still good, but we don't see him as much, you know.
Yeah. And the guys that aren't like gigantic hitters here, they have like some stories behind them. Like you look at Stork. I mean, this guy's been around for so long. He makes it through to Code S while he's coaching Samsung. So we'll see how that goes for him.
Well, I tell you what, I'm really excited about that group. I was kind of trying to figure out what I think is the group of death, and I think it's a really hard one, but Group C is what I came up with because it has SOS Light. Of course, Byung has always been a top tier that we always underestimate, but Stork is like, guys, let me tell you how smart he is. He's smarter than you, he's smarter than me, he's smarter than probably 30 of the players in this tournament. Like, the guy is so damn brilliant. I'm excited about that.
Yeah. For me, I think Group B, though, if you get Maru and Classic, the 2 SSL winners, like champions, you get Season 1 there from Maru, Season 2 from Classic. Bomber's still a great Terran. Trust is kind of like that odd guy out.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be also a pretty strong group.
The thing is, you look at all the groups, and every group, I'm like, well, damn, yeah, this is like really good. Like, look at this Group F. The old Deer and Fantasy. I mean, we keep not saying Sleep's ID high Sleep. Yeah, Sleep's here. He is actually a very good Zerg, but definitely overshadowed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, is there, like, every group is really fantastic.
Even Group H, you got Gumio, a fantastic meching Terran against 2 Zergs that are pretty good against mech. Like,
and Hurricane has some quality games coming out in Pro League from time to time.
Sometimes. Sometimes.
From time to time.
He had a bit of an embarrassing one there against Keen recently, but I'm sure he'll move on from that one.
Yeah. Always been a respected Protoss, though, and like, yeah, I mean, all these groups are really, really balanced. That's why I'm saying I think that our round of 16 has potential to be like the scariest, most ridiculous thing we've ever seen.
No, I hope so, man. That's when you get the best StarCraft. When you get like stacked round of 16s and round of 8s, you get those big best of 5 series that are just fantastic.
Indeed. As you see, everyone kind of getting ready right now. Of course, we're going to open up with MyuNgSiK against Zest in a PvP matchup. Zest, of course, a champion in StarCraft II. He was one of the best Protoss in the world for quite some time. Remember, you got like 1 GSL, 1 Kespa Cup, through a lineup of Protosses. Has been playing PvP quite well recently. MyuNgSiK, on the other hand, this guy is officially an up-and-coming Protoss.
Has he gained the title, Arthosis?
He has officially gained that title. He's definitely one of the 3 or 4 Protosses that I'm really keeping my eye on.
Who else another big gun, actually?
Normally Terminator, but I haven't. The thing is, he never really plays Pro League, so it's hard to watch him. But when I see him in a league, I'm like, damn, this guy is so smart. He's so good.
Today's energy bar. What's this? I like this. Condition is okay. Group is too strong.
Code S in a while. Nervous but hyped.
I don't think Zest gets nervous, man, but
had a good sleep and is happy for Solar. Well, I'm so sorry, Solar, even though your energy bar seems so high. I think Kira's going to get a few critical hits on you, buddy.
I'm sure he drank a HOT6 too. Shout out to the sponsor. No mirror matchups. Good. That's actually very true for Kira.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
He's a really legit Terran, man. I was really expecting him after that last season last year. I was like, oh, he's going to be like the new Maru guy, like the new, he's going to be sitting up at the top with Maru and Inno. But actually, Dream came along and Kira fell off. And, but I was really having high hopes for him. I'm hoping that he can maybe do that again because I love his style. I love his TVZ. I love his TVP.
Yeah, I think he's got it in him. Just something not lining up recently. It's kind of sad. But taking a look closer at our first matchup here, our first player, MyuNgSiK. 5th Code S. He's been around for a long time. Recently joining Spenu. And also Invasion Esports.
Yeah, he's got so many sweatbands here. Look at this. He's got both arms. He's got his head. Might have him on his ankles. We don't know.
Kind of interesting style. Never seen him like this, but can't say I dislike it too much.
Whatever he wants, man. Some people actually get really sweaty during these games because you're trying so hard.
MyuNgSiK is one of those guys. So, you need that headband.
But this guy, he's been up and coming for a while, but he's kind of had ups and downs, especially, he's on Prime for a little bit there. I think that didn't really do too much for him,
No, if anything, I think it hurt him.
Yeah, that was like his low because he was on KT for a while. He was kicking ass. He was going through qualifiers. That's when he first popped on the scene. We were all like, oh my god, MyuNgSiK City, he's so good. But, he kind of got labeled as like a sky toss for a long time. Kind of too stylistic, fun games, but not up there. More recently, though, man, I've really enjoyed his games. I think that he's really brought a lot to the table with his style of play.
For sure. He's even no longer that super all-in Protoss. He's just very stylistic, kind of like SOS in a way, but also very solid.
Yeah, yeah. It's a good way to put it.
And Zest, of course, always solid just across the board. I don't know.
I would give anything to see Zest versus Reach in a shirtless StarCraft PvP.
I'm sure you're not the only one who would love to see that.
Anything to see that.
Oh, man. Well, I believe this is how he got knocked out of Season 1 and Season 2.
Yeah, the qualifiers. Of course, Season 1 was a completely open qualifier.
He got knocked out by Tang Tang? That happened?
We aren't going to read that. We're going to ignore that ever occurred.
Oh.
I don't want to talk about it.
That's... I would have loved to see those games. See how those went down.
Those were just in the
double proxy Reaper or something. I don't know.
It had to be something weird, but
maybe a bad day.
Yeah, you know, Zest. If we never had that open qualifier, he probably never would have fallen out. But just he never could even get into Code A. As soon as he got in Code A, he smashed through. The open qualifiers can be very brutal. Like people are like, "Oh, I'm playing Zest. Okay, here's my super cheese. No one ever saw before." And then they beat him, and then they lose the next round.
I prepared for this one day.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, Zest.
The nobody loses to a nobody because he doesn't know to do the super cheese against this guy too.
And then some random gets into Code A and then they get demolished by Hero or something.
Exactly.
It's happened so many times.
Well, he's here now and he's here to stay. It's going to be our first map. Expedition lost. MyuNgSiK against Zest. It should be actually quite a good match. I do think MyuNgSiK's PvP is quite nice. He has some very sharp builds. So maybe he can find something here against Zest.
I wouldn't be surprised if he prepared some very specific stuff for Zest too, going into PvP for this first matchup.
HOT6 GSL.
Well, here we go. You heard it, guys. MyuNgSiK against Zest. Here we go. Up here in the... Wait a minute. I'm no tasteless. Up here in the top right, the up-and-coming Protoss.
MyuNgSiK.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
It's very nice. Down here on the bottom left in the blue, our very solid Protoss. He is...
Zest.
Kind of sounds like Chest.
Yeah. By the way, it looks like Zest is gonna proxy gate.
Yeah, we were saying how MyuNgSiK may have had something prepared, but this time it's gonna be Zest.
You know, this is something that definitely can throw your opponent off. I think he probably looked at MyuNgSiK's style and said, you know what, there's a lot of range in this guy's play. He's a very tricky player, a very mind game filled player, and that's exactly the type of player that can beat someone that is rock solid in PvP. So I think that this is not a bad choice to open up with a proxy like this and try to throw him off his game. And like whatever MyuNgSiK, because like you said, right, you're like, MyuNgSiK probably has some very specific builds planned. Those go out the window when someone just goes like Zealot, Zealot, Stalker, like real quick near your base.
Everything changes, and he's going to have to respond to it with whatever he's got at the time. It does look like he put down a slightly earlier gate. It came down at 12, and then also added those 2 gases pretty fast.
Yeah, well, that could help him, especially if he starts a Zealot. And he probably doesn't expect this from Zest, so not sure that it'll get scouted.
We'll see how much he scouts, though. He is being a bit more meticulous with this. The positioning, I love this positioning from Zest. That just never gets scouted.
Yeah.
Now he goes up to the gold.
Really well placed. And the pylon is actually even hard to kill. Like, even if you get out there to get the gateway, you can't get out there to get the pylon because then they just rally into your base.
Yeah.
So, really cool. Even knows the scout timing here.
And look at this. MyuNgSiK is going to rush out a Stargate. That's the last thing he wants at this point.
Yeah, that's rough. He has a lot of Chronos, but, I mean, 2 Zealots in his base right now with 0 units. Yeah. Not a good thing.
Just going to try to Chrono Boost out a Stalker here, but already the Zealot's getting to work on the probes. Just going for that economic damage. Going to cancel the Stargate.
Yeah, I guess that he has to. Yeah. It can't really get much worse than this, though. He's not mining right now. No. Just to put this in perspective, how long is this not mining? This is a really long time. Okay, a Stalker comes out, he's like, that's fine, because I got a Stalker too.
And he's making another one here, whereas MyuNgSiK delaying that second stalker coming out there. May have been a bit supply blocked. Not sure what happened there, really. Zest, though, going to get out a second stalker.
And let's see what Zest wants to do as the follow-up here. His warp gate is way further along right now than MyuNgSiK, so if he does go for something like a 3-gate, because he only has 1 gas, that's definitely something that could theoretically kill him.
Look at this. The Mothership Core is totally out of position. Is he just going to
Oh, he's going for the counterattack.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, he's just going to go for probes.
But at the same time, he's never going to hold this off in his main base.
You're very right about that. He's going to use like every probe, basically.
Does get very nice surrounds there on both of the Zealots. But
he's 6 probes down right now, to put this in perspective, guys. This wasn't a proxy 2-gate, which means that you still have a reasonable amount of probes as Zest. You can't give up that many probes as MyuNgSiK in this defense, unless he can get a hell of a lot of kills with that Mothership Core. Doesn't look likely.
Look at this, going to chrono boost out that warp key research, and once he can just warp in even just 1 stalker back at home, he'll be totally fine.
Yeah. Well, he's doing all right now, right? He's getting a few.
Yeah, he's getting a few. Actually, one of the stalkers just walked back.
The thing is, yeah, and with warping in stalkers at home, like even if he warps this Mothership Core home, it doesn't have enough for a Nexus cannon. So whoever has more stalkers wins.
And look at this, Zest is still up 2 probes, which is pretty huge. MyuNgSiK could get a little nice trade here.
This is actually really important. If it doesn't work out.
His 1 for 1. It's just too late. GG.
Yeah. Well, that was a good moment for him to try to get a snipe off there, but you know, Zest just has way more stalkers, did way too much damage. MyuNgSiK, he had the build planned. Just a very quick Stargate before anything else. But Zest threw him off with that build. It was a great opener. Now MyuNgSiK's head has to be spinning.
It's really unfortunate for him, too, because with that build, he wanted to go for the scout, and he scouted a lot of different areas, just not the correct place.
Yeah.
And Zest did it perfectly. He saved 2 Zealots before he went in, and then he was just consistently chrono boosting out unit after unit, stalker after stalker behind that. So he was just getting further and further ahead. MyuNgSiK, I think, didn't respond right away as well. Didn't cancel the Stargate right away. Didn't have enough chrono boost as well.
He was trying to calculate what he could get out. Like, can he keep that Stargate? Because obviously something like an Oracle or a Void Ray could be something that could maybe swing the game back. But you know, it took him a little bit to react. So definitely you can see he practiced the execution of killing Zest with that. If Zest were to do a more normal strat.
Well, we're going to be jumping into game number 2 here on Terraform.
Right. Zest looking fantastic right now. Will he do another aggressive opener here to mess with MyuNgSiK's plans?
Another 2-player map. It's definitely possible. You got a lot of line of sight blockers even on this map. You can hide a lot of stuff.
Yeah, you certainly can. That triple grass area.
Oh yeah.
That's a great place to hide buildings right there.
Man. It's gross.
How many grasses do you really have to go behind?
Yeah.
Seriously.
Ever since you were born, you've been dying.
Oh, that's so sad. The song. Ever since you've been born, you've been dying.
Oh, God.
Like, oh. Actually, you don't start dying until you're 12.
We don't have solar in the games yet.
HOT6 GSL 시즌 3.
Wild music here this season. All right, in the top left, losing that first game to a proxy.
MyuNgSiK.
It's like the girl in the command center.
Yeah, I like it. Robotic.
Yeah. Yeah, chicks with robotic voices are the best.
Down here in the bottom right, in the blue.
KT 롤스터 Zest.
Got a bit of drums going on, too, during the intro. Zest playing normal this time around.
So far,
well,
oh no.
Yeah.
11 gate Stargate, perhaps? Definitely a build that he's shown a lot in the past.
Mm-hmm.
He's shown it both with Phoenix and Oracle. Of course, it could be like a 3-gate attack as well, but
I like what you said before, actually, about how... well, hello!
Hide your face, quick! Oh my god, you're on TV! Welcome to the studio. Hope that you're enjoying your time in Korea. You're doing the greatest thing that you can do in the world, not just in Korea.
Oh, yeah.
Watch the GSL Code S opening day. I guess the finals could be better, though.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Either way, they're following their dreams, their passion. Coming down to the studio.
Indeed. She's braver than you guys in the audience.
But I like what you were saying before about how Zest is like, you do a bunch of funky, weird stuff, I'm just going to kill you. I don't want to play you in a straight-up game. I just want to kill you.
Yeah, like, you know, his very straight-up great play. It's definitely something that's very useful and scary, which forces his opponents to play a little bit crazy. But, you know, he can turn that around on them if they're going to play crazy to play slightly crazier. So right now we do see that Zest Cybernetics core a little bit faster, hiding a pylon as well, just in case MyuNgSiK scouts. That's a nice place to hide one that delays their information, that makes them think, oh, it could be a proxy Stargate or something like that.
He's going to go for a quick stalker here. So we're going to have to wait and see exactly what the follow-up is.
Well, might be to help him hide some of his tech. Only Chrono Boost and Stalker at the moment. MyuNgSiK just very, very normal with his opening build.
Well, probe going to come in here. Will be denied. Oh! That's a mistake. Letting him get a full scout of the base. But won't see that pylon.
And doesn't know that it's Stargate. So it could be... Well, looking at this for MyuNgSiK, he's probably saying, okay, this could be 3-gate, this could be Stargate, this could be Twilight, everything else is a little bit unlikely. And it looks like he just wants to go with 3-gateway himself here.
One stalker of Zest is going to see the aggression here in the middle of the map.
You know what? This has really good chance of working because Zest skipped the Mothership Core. And when you skip Mothership Core and you get 3-gated, guess who has less stalkers? The guy who's going for the quick Stargate. That's who.
Yeah.
Valdez.
You're exactly correct. And this is where that extra gas is going for a follow-up Twilight here behind the Oracle. But honestly, when you go for this much tech against the 3-gates, well, hold that thought. Stargate is going to come down here from MyuNgSiK too.
Indeed, but these gateways are so late, and without the Mothership Core, it's like, even if the Oracle goes across and kills all the probes, we're going to have, well, we're going to have 4 stalkers right now. Trying to figure out if there's really any realistic way for him to win this. I think he's got to get like a really good probe pull, good probe surround type of scenario.
That's very nice.
Oh, okay, he realizes he's in trouble right now. That's why he's using this Oracle as well. Good pick off right there.
Got to be very careful though outside the base. Desperately trying to get out a sentry here, possibly for the force field.
Well, I mean, he keeps only just 3 of them up here, but that's still a little bit rough. The Oracle runs out of energy, so that's going to be going maybe down. It's going to have to pull some probes, I think.
Trying to get those 2 last gateways up and running. Going to make a Void Ray, too, for the defense.
Yeah, he's going to have to pull a few probes as well, I'm thinking. 6 Stalkers already. Using that Zealot to tank a little bit. He wants to buy time for this Void Ray, but he's got to have more than just the Void Ray.
He's pulling every single probe except 1. He really wants to shut this down
hardcore. A move like this could possibly do it.
Well, he's going to 100% shut it down. That's for sure, and he's going to win the fight by far.
Still has his Oracle. Okay, so he's down a lot of probes. He's down 9 probes right now, which is a big deal.
But look at the army supply, 15 to 4. I think a counterattack could be pretty huge.
Yeah, he has potential here. Wow.
What?
He's so scared. That's ridiculous. I can't believe he just... Oh, it's because he wants to go scout? What? Still.
I think that was...
Still, no, that couldn't be right. That Nexus cannon.
And it was just a mistake.
It was like 3 years too soon. The world just wasn't ready for that Nexus cannon, Valdez.
Yeah. And now the Oracle can just see the photon overcharge and easily move out and just wait.
He does have some Phoenixes here, so that definitely can clean up this Oracle quite well.
The sad Oracle.
Well, that's definitely a bit rough for Zest. And he is still down some probes, but it's not too much. Thing is, I do like the tech from MyuNgSiK here. Ooh, and he's getting a Dark Shrine as well.
That's actually a really nice read. He just took out the Oracle, and he knows that Zest is sitting back. He's got a Twilight Council, and he's like, well, you're not going to have detection for a while.
That's a good point. Yeah, he has a Stargate and a Twilight. You don't really want to make a Robo in that situation, especially without a base.
Yeah.
It's
and behind this, he's going for robotics because he knows that's a possibility for Zest even, with the Twilight Council already out.
He does see that Blink is going to be on the way, so DTs should be good, but the only thing he really needs to back that up is some Immortals, and then he should be like completely rock solid here, I would say. Really, really good counterplay by MyuNgSiK.
If there's like a Protoss who's been in this situation this many times, it's definitely MyuNgSiK. It gives you like such a different kind of read on PvP when you get into these weird situations.
Well, right now it looks like Zest is going for it, man. On one base, he is going to have Blink, which is a gigantic deal, of course. Going to lose some probes over here, but that is 6 supply that is not in the battle for MyuNgSiK.
Well, all he's got to do is warp in 1 DT, and, you know, 1 DT for the attack, I suppose, and 1 for the defense. And he's going to be all set and ready to go and win this game. I don't see how Zest can really get detection. He can't make an Oracle with 3 Phoenixes out on the map. Unless MyuNgSiK just like throws his Phoenixes away.
Yeah. This is really tough. Like, let's see how much money he has. He doesn't have very much. Sometimes you see people like proxy a Forge and try to get like a base trade. Yeah, he might be going for something like that here.
Looks like it.
No, he's decided no way, no how. MyuNgSiK going to go ahead and take that one down. A good defense by Zest at certain points there. Like, he was very smart. The fact that he started using that Oracle on defense immediately when he saw the Stalker, he's like, oh crap. So, smart moves by Zest, but absolutely not enough. MyuNgSiK's reaction to killing that Oracle, as you said, though, that is really, really strong.
I wonder if there was a timing somewhere after Zest held that attack off where he could have just gone for his own like counter-aggression before the Dark Shrine even got up. Especially with how early that Photon Overcharge came out.
I think the problem was he was waiting specifically for Blink to finish to move out because he was on one base. So he's like, okay, I got to make this really count. I'll get Blink and I'll go. I bet you he even thought and said, he's like, if he put down a Dark Shrine after going 3 gate and 2 Phoenixes against me, I guess he's got me.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those situations where you're like, but if he didn't do that, I have potential to beat everything else.
It's almost like poker where you take like a certain risk. You're saying, okay, if he's got it, but I have to go for this.
Yeah.
It'll give me a much higher percentage chance of winning rather than going for some kind of flimsy counterattack when I'm not ready.
PvP on the top level is so much like poker. It truly is, where you have to take an edge somewhere or you're going to lose. The players that try to play completely safe will lose to those who take a smart edge against them.
Yeah. That's why, you know, a lot of people aren't the biggest fans of PvP, but I actually find it pretty interesting
I think
overall.
I know. I think it's so strategic, and like you can get enough information that very rarely do you lose completely on random luck.
Yeah. It's very rare. It happens sometimes. Sometimes they've got the right cards.
Yeah. Sometimes they got you.
Yeah.
As long as you're putting your decisions in correctly, though, you're going to win a long term.
It's very true. Echo will be mat number 3 for this to decide who will be going on to the winner's match. That is Zest and MyuNgSiK.
HOT6 GSL 시즌 3.
All right, down here in the bottom right, winning the last game.
스베누 명식.
Sometimes I start thinking about the game and I forget that Tasis isn't here, and I have to work in the first minute of the game.
I make you do your fair share of intros.
That's right. It's good. It's good for me. I'm glad that you do it.
Up in the top left, in the blue.
KT 롤스터 제스트.
First time I casted with Valdez,
that was a
sat me down. He's like, "Hey, listen, look, I've watched some of your casts. This shit with Tasis, where you don't do your fair share, it's over. You're not pulling that with me.
Actually, it's just not okay."
Moonglade says one of the players. All right. He's like, "Oh yes, sir. I'm sorry, sir."
That's exactly how it went down. Look at this.
Now this is really funny because MyuNgSiK went 11 gate here. Oh, he's going to steal the gases?
Yeah.
But he's going to find it's against 11 gate. Oh my god. He got them both.
Wow.
The 11 gate kind of negates this a little bit. Negate with the 11 gate. because he can't, of course, get his Zealot out to help defend this.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is double gas steal is like a really cool and very old strategy. Like gas steal in StarCraft 1, very popular. In StarCraft 2, harder to pull off because you do have to grab both. But it's pretty neat. There's like a lot of options that both players have to consider. Like, do you go... For instance, there's a point in time where people would just rush against it because you wouldn't hold, because you just have like too many Zealots and Stalkers can out-micro you or something like that. But will that be the type of play that Zest goes for here? No, it looks like he just wants to go for a tech advantage.
Yeah, I like it. This kind of gas steal also, I think it only pretty much happens in PvP these days. And even so, it's like very, very rare.
Certainly. I was not expecting it at all, but I guess with the time that probe came over, it did make some sense.
He was trying to come around for another gas steal.
When they get that, you want to quit.
It's like, okay, GG. Go to the loser's match, I don't care.
Yeah. But looks like Zest gonna proxy something over here in the top right. That's a lot of lost mining time, by the way, on those probes.
Oh yeah, and a lot of lost gas. Which is why Zest
you look at his
going
gas. Yeah, he's behind 140 plus gas, and it's going to be even more than that, it looks like. So definitely a big advantage there.
This probe scout is going to be very nice here. The Mothership Core is trying to be chrono boosted out right now, but probe should be able to get a full scout of the base first and know that something is awry.
Something is missing.
In the top right,
our proxy Stargate.
Yeah.
It is Zest. You like that?
I liked it.
That's good. That's good.
I think MyuNgSiK should know something's up though. He's already going for the scout.
Look at him. He's gonna find it, which is great. It doesn't make it necessarily like terrible for Zest. Like he'll still be able to get an Oracle out of it. Yeah, it looks like everything's probably too far away, but you know. It's not a Stargate he's going to... Well, I mean, if he just doesn't scout it. There was a game, I believe it was at Shenzhen, where like 4 times TY scouted right next to a hidden Nexus and missed it.
Oh,
like by a centimeter.
That happened that many times?
Like 4 times he sent the SCV up and he just never saw the Nexus. He kept sending it right next to it. It was one of these new maps, and I believe it was Terraform actually. And it was just like madness, because every time we'd have to check the vision, like, oh my god, he still doesn't see it.
And I believe he still doesn't, if you're looking up in that top right.
That's rough.
Zealot comes in here and he still knows, I think. He's going to notice those gateways are a bit later.
Yeah, he knows there has to be a tech here. Oh god, and he's... Wait a minute, this is 3-gate Oracle. Yeah, 100% Zest is going to kill him here. You can't hold this, like the fast Nexus. This is like a counter build to fast expands. So, wow, really smart play here by MyuNgSiK. He can't turn on Nexus Cannon yet, because if he does, he dies to the 3 gateway at his main.
This guy is so smart, man.
Yeah.
And he did assume it was Stargate, by the way.
Yeah.
He was actually preparing for it, and he did a very nice job of doing that.
Certainly so. Gonna walk up the ramp right now is Zest. He needs to set off that Nexus Cannon. There you go. Now, the amount of time that MyuNgSiK waited to set that off is very, very important. You really want this first Oracle to set it off, because then they just can't stop you. You kill their natural Nexus. You have so many Stalkers when you go into the main.
Yeah. By the way, a second Oracle has been made.
Uh-oh. His Zealots are coming right now, but there are sentries. A beautiful force field coming off. And
gigantic.
Wow, this is a great defense from MyuNgSiK here.
This guy knows the timings down to a T. It's fantastic.
Yeah, really fantastic play. Finally, these Zealots do get up here.
And there is a pylon here in the main. But, I mean, look at this. MyuNgSiK's got another warp into 3 Stalkers. He's going to win this fight.
Yeah.
And he's got a Nexus behind it.
Yeah, he's in a huge lead now. Zest was a little bit greedy trying to go up that ramp so quickly. You can definitely play a much slower game with this build order, because you get the Nexus every single time, and you have Stargate tech and a lot of Stalkers, which is like all that's good. But as of this moment, this is something that's a little bit tough for Zest.
Yeah.
He's making another Oracle that can throw him off guard. You don't necessarily expect a 3rd Oracle to be made.
Just the way MyuNgSiK is playing this is so smart. Yeah. Looks like he is almost expecting a 3rd Oracle to be made.
It really is very smart how MyuNgSiK has played this. He's played fantastic. He's executed really well because he got the poor end of build orders. But Zest also, we do have to point out, like, being up that ramp at that moment with, like, only 3 Stalkers, it was a little bit dangerous, right?
Yeah.
It's a little bit risky.
Gonna force a recall with 2 Zealots. Gives up the Nexus because he knows he can delay Zest.
And he just goes into Blink, which is definitely the right call here.
Oracle coming in here getting 2 kills, not bad.
Yeah. Let's take a look. 22 to 24 probes. Everything's all right. You know, looking at like the 2 positions and trying to figure out exactly who's ahead, it's pretty close because it's like 2 sentries, which are very, very useful, and then an Oracle, which is very, very useful. Of course, Zest is up like a couple probes and down a few Stalkers, so that definitely can make a difference if MyuNgSiK wants to go all in or something.
He's also got a slightly later Blink.
Yeah.
Even it's like slightly longer than slightly.
Yeah.
It's like a...
Yeah, a moderately later Blink.
Yeah.
Moderately later whilst still upgrading at the same time Blink.
Yes.
I want to be very specific
Medium
for those of you not watching.
this.
For those of you listening to GSL Radio.
Yeah.
But yeah, this game is actually just going to completely normalize, which is pretty neat after this opening. Like, for MyuNgSiK to get into a normalized position off of a big build order disadvantage.
Yeah.
Really nice.
And this is kind of what I wanted to see. The first 2 games are very quick, very technical, but this is when we're going to see a bit of that later game.
Yeah. Going to see who can handle this. Both going robos at about the same time. I'm actually like, see, he scouts the robo. He actually should have seen that. It died like right as gut vision. But he should basically know what that is. So I think we should be seeing a Forge from MyuNgSiK right now. Bam, there it is.
There you go.
Yeah, man. It's called.
You're on top of this.
It's called the Forge timing. It's actually a thing in PvP. As soon as you know your opponent can't kill you, you make a Forge.
Seems like Zest still hasn't scouted that timing.
Yeah. He doesn't actually know 100% yet. Right, he's trying to figure it out. He sees that there's Blink. He has reasons that he should be a little bit scared right now. If he saw the robo, he'd know. But he basically just figured it out. He sees the amount of probes that are transferred down. He's like, oh, if you're making probes non-stop during this, you can't have that many Stalkers that can kill me.
Yeah. Everybody's transitioning now.
Yeah. It's the in thing to do.
And there you go. Zest getting his 3rd and 4th gas slightly ahead of MyuNgSiK. Not going to be too big of a deal.
Yeah, but you know, we'll see if he rockets out that +2 and see what he goes for. If you do end up like you know, with a faster Forge, sometimes like a big battle of Colossus happens at +2 against +1, and that can absolutely change everything. You have like 2-3 Colossus firing during that. Oh my god.
MyuNgSiK has been more on point with these hallucination scouts.
Yeah.
Zest has just been saving up that energy using his Oracle instead.
It's really neat when you think about it, because he had 2 sentries during the hold, and then he made 2 more. Yeah. And normally you don't see sentry counts get over 3 in PvP, but he chose to get that extra one, and his scouting is super duper on point. And that's really needed in PvP, because after the initial build orders, if you're at a similar place, it's little tiny edges that you have to take, like when do I add my gateways, when do I take my 3rd base, do I add a second robo, that type of thing.
And you need to have consistent scouting, and the best PvPers are going to need that extra sentry, actually, for that little bit of extra scouting. And MyuNgSiK's one of those guys.
Yeah, it's really nice. And see, now here's that quick 3rd that Zest is like, all right, this is how I'm going to get ahead. Nice fast 3rd base. And immediately scouts it.
Immediately.
And now MyuNgSiK can look at what he has and say, yes, I can take my 3rd base. I don't have to be afraid whatsoever.
Yeah, it's like he was preparing to take his 3rd base, but he's like, okay, this is the timing Zest should get his 3rd, so I'm going to send my hallucination now. And then he saw right when it came down. It's pretty fantastic.
Well, there it is. Just slightly slower, but that's okay. That's, you know, that amount of time differential normally won't be what costs the game.
Do see Zest going for the much faster charge.
That's, yeah.
Still no charge on the cards here for MyuNgSiK.
That's actually really common with Zest. He loves to get fast charge because what he does if he's a little bit behind in tech, which you actually can see he is slightly. There's 2 Colossus for Zest, but he's missing an Immortal, so like the extra Zealots can actually win the game sometimes. But I don't think that'll be the case here.
Yeah. Interesting, we see this bit of a move out of the third base. Zest trying to see if he can, you know, push and do a little bit of damage. Ooh, Oracle goes down.
Nice snipe. Oh, wow. If he gets that, he has to recall out of here, though. I don't think he can take this. Can he take? He was attack. What?
Well,
oh my god!
That Colossus from MyuNgSiK is very much in the front.
That was like totally not attacking the right things, but you know what? That's a lot of Blinkstalkers. Doesn't really matter though. Plenty of tech left over here.
The 2 Colossi in the back here. Range is about to finish up for both of these guys.
Yeah, definitely some targeting mishaps by MyuNgSiK.
Look at that! Even the hallucinated Archon takes some damage.
Really, like, Zest is such a master of engagement in PvP.
Oh, yeah.
It's
in many different
crazy.
matchups. He was one of the only Protosses that was consistently holding off boys pushes from Terrans for a long time, like on Sage Station.
Yeah.
He made it look easy.
That's very true.
And now Zest is taking out the third base. All he has to do is defend his own and get further ahead back at home.
That is the aim of the game. This is a lot of Stalkers, a very risky all-in, but hey, look at this! He's going to pick off a few of these Colossus here.
Yeah, gets the Immortal as well, and immediately takes out all the tech of Zest. The question is he going to lose this fight?
Well,
it's going to be blink versus blink at this point. It's very close. I think MyuNgSiK Stalkers have taken a little bit too much damage, though.
Yeah, it was like a cool idea to try to snipe. Sometimes you can get comebacks like that, but Zest like so won the engagement at that third base.
That was disgusting.
It shouldn't have looked, because the thing is there was an additional mortal for MyuNgSiK, but his Colossus was a little bit slower. That was like the trade-off.
Well, Zest caught him at an awkward stance right there on the ramp too.
Yeah.
The Time Warp hit the entirety of MyuNgSiK's force, and Zest got like a couple of really good shots off before MyuNgSiK even got his Mother Support into position, got his Time Warp down, and from there he was fighting the fight from behind. Lost his Colossus much earlier, Zest at 2, and well, there you go.
Well, you can't be too surprised. I actually saw these 2 vetoing maps downstairs earlier, and Zest was standing there as calm as a cucumber, and because cucumbers are notoriously calm. And MyuNgSiK was dancing almost like he had to pee. So, you know, it's a tough match to go up against Zest in PvP. But I think you can really see MyuNgSiK, like, see what I'm talking about. This guy really is an up-and-coming Protoss. There were some really great plays.
He's got it in him, especially for PvP. I'd love to see more of those series in the future from him.
Oh, well, you might see that when he comes out of the loser bracket, possibly. So we will see that. We're going to have our next match coming up shortly after this small